30분ぐらい時間潰せるかなと思ったけど、そんなにも
あ、はい、大丈夫です。はい、どうぞ。
sea. The wagashi are selected according to the theme chosen for a particular tea ceremony. Their many shapes and designs can be enjoyed. Made from vegetable materials only, their simple taste. The beauty of wagashi, which so delicately reflects the changing seasons, became even more refined. Wagashi perfectly matches the spirit of the tea ceremony, which itself encompasses.